Hey guys, what's up? My name is Gtreeko, and welcome to this video where I'm showing off my game that I made. It was, I think like last year when I was meant to be working on my university project. I started working on this a little bit on the side and got a bit carried away. So I got it to a point where I thought it was a playable game, and this is the result. So I actually dug this up because I saw some people doing the Ludum Dare. Oh, is it even, that's what it's called? I don't know. I saw some people doing some game dev recently on Twitter, and I thought, wait a minute, I had some really cool games that, I worked on back in the day. So let's go have a look at it. So there's the main game, which is, it's not really the main game or what I want it to be, but we will go into Sandbox Mode so I can really show off what the game is about. So this is not the actual game itself, this is Sandbox Mode where you can mess around and experiment and see what the game is about, I guess. So first things first, it is called Plant Defense for now. I don't really know what kind of name to give it, but it's a plant tower defense sort of game where you build a plant and enemies, so bugs, will come to attack your plant, and then you have to defend it basically until you win the level or whatever happens. So let's quickly go over the plant itself. So you can build a plant, right? So in the top left of the screen, you can see your sunlight, which is your resources, right? So, you can get more sunlight from a plant part called a leaf. So let's go over the plant parts first. So you've got 5 main plant parts. I'm planning to add more, maybe change them a bit. I'm not exactly sure. This game is like quite early in development. But I just wanted to show it off because I don't know, I bet people have got some really cool ideas. But we will see anyway. So the main plant part that you'll be building with is called the stem. So the stem is the building block of your plant. This is where you attach other plant parts to, and it's just the main block of your plant basically. So basically what happens is if, for example, this plant part here is destroyed, the whole plant will die. It will just be destroyed. So for example, if this one is destroyed, this one will get destroyed. So basically what has to happen is there has to be a way touching the ground, if that makes sense. There can't be any floating plant parts around. So let's go over the plant parts. So we've got the stem. Each plant part also has upgrades, by the way, so that's pretty cool as well. So you can have, for the stem, you can have extra health. You can have thorns, so whenever an enemy attacks it, it'll take damage, and hormones, so you can increase your maximum sunlight. So that's what the stem is all about. Next up is the leaf. So with the leaf, you get sunlight every few seconds. And whenever I guess you could already see it, but when you place a plant part, it's got this little bar here, basically tells you that it's building. So it's not in action straight away. You have to wait a few seconds, and then your plant part will be, usable, or it will do what it's for, or what it's meant to do. So the leaf has also a few upgrades. Leafy veins. These are really stupid names, right? I had to think of something, but those are the names anyway. So you can get extra sunlight, like an extra 5 sunlight every second, or every few seconds. Wider blade, extra health, and then hormones. So again, extra sunlight, just like the stem. So now we get onto the more interesting plant parts. For example, the spitter. So obviously, like, the models and stuff are actually quite bad. I understand that they're quite bad, but I just wanted to make a functioning game with where the gameplay works. So let's place a few spitters. I don't know about the names either. A spitter, I might change it to shooter. I don't know, but we will see. Anyway, when you select a spitter, well, as you can see, it has like a range around it of where it can shoot. So whenever an enemy gets in range, it'll shoot it. So you've got a few upgrades for the spitter as well. You've got rapid fire, so it'll shoot faster. You've got the power shots, so it'll have a bigger range, like that. And you've also got poison shots, so whenever this spitter will shoot at an enemy, it'll apply this debuff to the enemy, and it'll take damage every few seconds. So it'll be poisoned, so it's pretty cool as well. So let's spawn something in to actually kill. So let's spawn in a fly. I'll show all the enemies as well when it comes to it, but basically these spitters will shoot at the fly. Now, as you can see, the fly has this little see, it's being poisoned now because it's got like the little thing coming out. And when the enemy reaches the plant, it'll stand still and it'll start attacking the plant, and the plant will take damage. Anyway, you can see the spit. You saw the spitter in action. It's actually pretty cool. It doesn't home in or anything. It just shoots where the enemy is, and then well, and if the enemy is hit, then it'll take damage. If not, then it doesn't. So I mean, I could make that the spitters and stuff like lead their shots, so they will pretty much always hit. But I think it's just, I don't know if the game is fun that way. But it just takes some experimenting and just messing around with the game itself to find that out. Anyway, you can also have a pod. The pod is really cool. It's probably one of my favorite plant parts, actually. The pod takes ages to build, but when you do build it, and it also doesn't have much health, but when you do build it, it creates these little plant creatures that come out. So these little guys. So I know it's bad, alright, you can laugh all you want, but these guys are pretty tough. So they also have upgrades. Plating, so any new minions that spawn from after you buy it will have an extra 25 health. You can, I think they maximum have 3 little guys coming out at the same time, but if you buy seeds, an extra one can come out as well. See, there you go, that's the extra one. And then Paco Punch, so new plant minions, I don't have a name for them yet, will do extra damage as well. So these guys won't because they haven't been newly spawned, but new ones will. I can also make it, I guess, that the existing ones do it as well, but I don't know. We'll have to see about that. Anyway, the last part, plant part, is the flower. Now, the flower is kind of interesting. I've been experimenting with this one a bit. They basically shoot pollen. When pollen hits an enemy, they slow down. Now, I kind of feel this is a bit of a weak plant part. It doesn't really do that much at the moment. It is fairly cheap, though, so I don't know. So you've got hay fever, so enemies that get hit by these are slowed for longer. I've got discharge, where pollen is released above and below as well, so it'll go up and down. I don't know how useful that is, but when there are more flying enemies, I guess it would be. And then you've got little pollen. I know the names are bad, but anyway, the pollen will travel a bit faster and last longer. So at the moment, they don't go super far, but when you get that upgrade, it'll go it'll look like a little bit faster and a little bit further. So that's pretty cool. So that is all the plant parts. So as you can see, like some of the upgrades actually show on the model itself. So like this one, you can see that the bark's been upgraded. This one, you can see like the wider blade is upgraded, you know, leafy veins, whatever. So I tried to make it, I don't know, I tried to make the game a bit more interesting with little bits that make it more interesting. So, alright, so you can also speed up the game. I mean, I don't know how useful that is, but in a tower defense game, you can usually do that, and it, you know, sometimes like, oh, this is a boring wave, like, let's hurry this up, like, I know I'm going to pass it. You can do that. But this is sandbox mode, so it doesn't even matter that much. So now let's show off the enemies. The enemies, I try to make a few different, like, types, instead of just having, like, the you know, the normal ones. So you've got ants. Ants are pretty basic. They're just, like, just a normal enemy. They just run towards your plant and will try to kill it. So let's see how effective our spitters and the plant minions will be. So let's make a few more spitters as well, just so that we have a better chance against these guys. So the ants are really basic. Ants don't do anything special. When they do come, what I'm thinking about is just send a whole bunch of them, right? Because that's what ants are. They have a huge colony, and loads of ants would come at the same time. So they don't do anything special. They just come in large forces. So we've got the slug. The slug is nothing special either. It's just really slow, but has loads of health. So if a bunch of these guys come to you, to your plant, you're going to need to spend a lot of sunlight to get some nice spitters to, well, kill it fast, because otherwise its health is just tremendous and it'll overpower your plant quite easily. So it's a slug. The slug will take a little while before it actually reaches our plant, but well, you've already seen the fly. The flies are a little bit different. Flies spawn and then they do this little loop-de-loop, so they're a bit harder to hit. Flies don't actually have a lot of health, but they're harder to hit, so I think that makes up for it a little bit. I think the flies are probably my favorite enemy, because they were so much fun to program. They were really fun. I don't know. I do want to add so that they, you know, don't, at the moment they only come at this height, so I'd like them to come at different types of heights and then calculate where your plant is the highest, and go there as well. But at the moment, they're pretty cool. See, oof, they're getting pretty close to the plant. Oh, the stance, oof, reached it. You see, 5 damage right there. Got to be careful now. Anyway, and then my final type of enemy is a spittlebug. The spittlebugs, there's 2 different versions. So there's a nymph, and there's also a normal one. So the difference is that the nymph is like a baby version of it, and then the spittlebug is like an adult version of it. It has more health, spits bigger bubbles, and well, it's just a bit bigger really. So it's a bit more of a powerful version of it. So they spit like these little bubbles, and when they get hit, like, oh, I can really see a little bug here going on. I kind of missed that, I think. Anyway, when the bubbles get hit, they just absorb damage. So if you have these guys in the front line spitting loads of bubbles, like, there's not much you can do about it, because the bugs themselves won't get hit. And you will, well, how do you call it? The ants and bugs will have an easier time to get to your plant. So the full game, well, at the moment, they just spawn in waves. So you've got a whole bunch of ants coming first, and then you've got a bunch of slugs, and then a bunch of flies, and they all come all at once. But as you can see, when a whole bunch of different enemies come at once, it's a bit of a tougher challenge. So you will have plenty of time in between rounds to build your plant, gather sunlight, and, well, by the time this game comes out, there'll be more plant parts, there'll be more enemies. The game will be more interesting for sure. Like, it won't look like this, like the models will be better. But I think I made a pretty good start on it. I don't know what you guys think about it or not, but I'm not planning on releasing this anytime soon. It's just, I don't know, I really like programming this. It was really fun. So I worked on this for a few weeks. I didn't spend, like months and months on this. It was literally like I had a bit of spare time across my university project. Well, I should have been working on my university project, but I decided to work on this a little bit on the side. So, yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any ideas as well, let me know. I'm on Twitter a lot now, by the way. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, please do. I will pretty much always reply to your tweets. And I've got some interesting tweets lined up, so let me know how it goes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys like the idea of the game, and I will see you guys in the next video.